Ruth Snyder. I'm retired from the furniture business.
I'm Tiana Dayton, and my husband and I have a cabinet shop here in Gallipolis.
Okay. I guess we'll start with you. What was your part or involvement in the Silver Bridge disaster?
Well, we lived in Dayton, Ohio at the time, and my parents lived here in Gallipolis, and they had a furniture store. It was called Rice and Corbin. And when the bridge fell, we heard the news. Of course, we were really concerned, and we tried to get a hold of them, and all the lines were tied up and everything. But eventually we did, and they were all okay. Well, later we came down to visit, and we took a train ride. My dad took us on a train ride across the river so we could see the bridge. And my daughter was about 9 years old, so I'll let her tell you about the bridge.
We went to the train station downtown, which we have a picture here of the old train station. But I guess it was normally a freight train, but they turned it into a passenger train. It went across the train bridge, which was right next to where the Silver Bridge was. And so you would look out the window and you could just see the wreckage, just the steel hanging into the water. I mean, just everywhere. And I remember thinking, there are people down there. You know, you see all the wrecked cars and the bridge, and think about all the people that lost their lives or that got affected by that. You don't forget seeing that. But you didn't believe when you hear a bridge fell. You don't think that's true, but to see it, you do.
Okay, but neither of you lived here at the time?
No.
No, we lived in Dayton.
No.
Okay.
We moved back here in 1970
Okay.
and went into the furniture business where my dad was.
I remember the train went past my grandparents' house because they lived on Sunset. And I remember my grandma out in the yard waving at us, but you'd never seen that train have people on it. It always was just a freight train. When it went by, when we were kids, we'd see it all the time.
Okay, so where do you get on the train at?
We went to the old train station on 3rd Avenue,
Okay.
the train depot.
In Sycamore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still there, but it's about to fall down.
Right. Where did it stop then on the other side of the river?
Where did it stop?
Yeah, I don't remember
Around
that.
Crowdale Park somewhere.
Crowdale Park, he said. I don't remember that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How many cars were there?
I don't remember that
I don't
either.
know. More than one, but I do not know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they charged the minimal price to get across?
Yeah, I don't think it was very much.
No.
So it was a way to get people from Gallipolis to Point Pleasant. And
Mm-hmm.
It was,
Yeah, just to
yeah.
see the bridge. see
Mainly,
where the
yeah.
bridge
I
fell.
don't remember people getting off.
Yeah.
You just went over and turned around and came back.
You talked about your parents being business people in the town.
Mm-hmm.
How did that affect their business? How did it affect their relationship with the community?
I don't remember about that. I don't remember having any particular effect on it. I don't know.
Were they selling to people on the other side of the river?
Yes, that's the reason we were worried for fear they were on the bridge at the time, because they were making deliveries over to Point Pleasant, and they made a lot of sales over in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And just luckily they weren't. Fortunately, they weren't.
Yeah. I found out later, my husband, was from here, and his dad worked at Kaiser over in Ravenswood. And he had just come home that day about 4 o'clock. And they were going to go to Huntington to the mall to go Christmas shopping. And they always went back across the Silver Bridge and down the West Virginia side. But the traffic was so bad, his dad is like, we're going to go to the Ohio side, which they never did. So they did, and they came back home, and they stopped at a gas station downtown, and they told him the bridge had fallen. So they would have all been on that bridge, his whole family. So, nowadays I think about that. It's like, that would have changed my whole life.
Yeah.
And how many people that happened. Yeah. And I have friends at church who, the ladies are probably in their 70s now, but they lost their parents on the bridge. And still to this day, you can see how it affects them. And I know Christmas, they wouldn't do anything till after the 15th because they would not celebrate till after that day. But it's just amazing when you see the ripple effect of all the people it affected.
How did it change your outlook on life or anything since then?
No, I don't think it changed my outlook on
You
life.
realize, I think, your everyday activities, you're not certain of anything. I mean, you know, those people were just doing their everyday life. You don't expect that to happen when you go out to go shopping or whatever.
I guess it made us a little more aware whenever we cross a bridge that could happen again.
Absolutely.
You know, and you think, am I going to make it across here?
You do think about it.
Yeah.
Was the new bridge constructed by the time you moved back?
Yes. Yeah. I don't remember what year it was constructed, but yeah, of course that was a couple years. I think it was.
I remember riding
I think
the
it
ferry across the river.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe
I
they
think
were
they were
just
working
working
on
on
it.
it then when we came back.
2 years.
Because I remember
years.
going up Eastern Avenue and getting on the ferry to go across. A few times we had to go across.
Yeah. Yeah, my father passed away in September of '68, which was not too long after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was shortly after that we came down and took his place in the business.
I've always wondered why there's no memorial here. Because when you go, and I think about it a lot, when you go across the bypass and you get up to Route 7, straight ahead is where the bridge was. And there's nothing there. And I've always wondered about that. I know in Point Pleasant they have a nice memorial, but...
It's at the rest stop down the road just a little ways.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any other stories you'd like to relate?
We had a friend tell us yesterday. She lived in Pennsylvania at the time, and her dad worked for a trucking company. And he was sent down here when the bridge fell because there were so many semis. I guess some of his truckers were on there, so he was sent down here to see what he could do or to see what had happened. You know, and she lives here now.
Yeah.
But it's just, like I said, it's just amazing how far that it goes.